I think the Steelers could win the AFC North this year.
What?
Also, my Week 9 power ratings coming your way. Welcome in, everybody. I am Seth Floyd Hansen. This is the one, the only Seth Floyd Show, bringing you all the hottest football takes and news, headlines, things going on around the NFL. This week is going to be no different. Things are crazy, hard to predict this NFL season, and I just wanted to give you some thoughts and also give you my top 5 teams in the NFL right now as of Week 9. We just had a crazy game last night with the Texans-Jets. I called it. If you watched the live stream, on Wednesday night, you know, your boy, Seth Floyd, he called it. He said the Jets are in absolute desperation mode. The Texans, short week on the road. Okay, I know they were 6-2, but man, it feels like every game the Texans playing is close. They no longer have Stephon Diggs. Okay, Nico Collins is still out. So it felt like a spot where the Jets were going to get it done. Because the reality is, while the Jets are a bad team, they're not a bad roster. What happens when you have good rosters but are a bad team means they're going to be 500 at best, probably under that, but they're going to win a couple games that you feel like they're not supposed to win. Because every now and then there's enough talent that comes out of the roster that they put it together, but they don't play as a team. And that's the Jets. It's what you saw last night. They're a dysfunctional organization, but it just felt like last night was going to be their night, and I called it. That's reason enough you should listen to me, because I got takes like that. Takes for days. Like I said in the intro, okay, the Steelers, I think they have a real chance to win the AFC North. Now, I'm not saying they're going to, okay? I think there's a lot of opportunity for them, though, okay? I will admit, at the start of the year, or I should say the offseason, but the start of the year also, I was pretty down on the Steelers. Pretty down on them, because what are they? Every year they feel like they go 10-7 and then lose to the Bills in the wild card round or whatever, okay? Whoever, the Chiefs. Actually, they beat the Chiefs a few years ago, I think, right? No, they beat the Browns? I can't remember. Or the Browns. Oh, no. The Browns beat the Steelers. Sorry, I'm tongue-tied. They lost to the Bills last year, though. And I just felt like, man, I didn't believe in Justin Fields, didn't believe in Russell Wilson. Not that they're not NFL quarterbacks, but not to reach the standard that the Steelers expect and what they've shown in the past. And even when they were on their streak with Justin Fields, I think the Cowboys game really showed how limited they were. I think the Cowboys game showed just how one-dimensional they really get on offense with Justin Fields at quarterback. Now, that doesn't mean Justin Fields doesn't ever throw the ball. He'd thrown however many touchdown passes. I don't have his numbers right in front of me. But I think most teams knew on every single play, like through the course of a whole game, Justin Fields is not going to beat you from the pocket. That Justin Fields was not going to dominate you. That if you could stop the run game of the Steelers, that you were going to have a chance to win. That's how I think that the Cowboys won that game. But let's fast forward these last 2 weeks with Russell Wilson, and their offense looks different. With Russell Wilson, they're a much more balanced attack, which in the NFL, being multidimensional is key, especially on offense, okay? If you have a team that can only do one thing with the ball, run it or throw it, but they can't do the other, that is where you really start to get in trouble, at least over the course of a season. Over the course of a whole season, it's just not a recipe for success. Okay, why do you think that the Chiefs last year, now I know it's the Chiefs, I know it's Mahomes, but what was the turnaround for the Chiefs is midway through the year, about week 10, or I think it was after the Eagles loss, that they decided, we're just going to lean into the run game. I know we have Mahomes, we don't have the weapons we used to, let's lean on Pacheco a little more. And look what happened. They got hot down the stretch. We know what happened in the Super Bowl. They win the Super Bowl, and not being able to, or teams not being able to stop the run as well as they wanted, really opened things up for the Chiefs. So what I'm saying is Russell Wilson adds this dynamic to the Steelers that we hadn't seen yet. And this isn't even a Justin Fields disrespect video. I think Steelers fans, I hope you're watching. Let me know. If I'm wrong, then let me know. But Steelers fans, I think you watching Russell Wilson versus Justin Fields, you probably nod your head. Even if you love Justin Fields, he's a very likable guy and incredible athlete. But you're probably watching this going, this is like, Russ can throw the ball downfield more consistently. I'm watching him against the Giants, and I know it wasn't a blowout win. That game was closer than than people probably hoped if you're a Steelers fan. But Russ is like throwing the ball downfield. He has a couple really good throws downfield. I'm like, oh man. Mike Tomlin, and maybe I should say Arthur Smith, but Arthur Smith, Mike Tomlin combination is getting more out of Russell Wilson than Sean Payton ever did. I talked about this on my live stream this week, but for whatever reason, Sean Payton could not get it out of Russell Wilson. And I think most people know the reason. Their personalities did not jive. They did not match. Well, Tomlin clearly has gotten some out of him. Arthur Smith clearly can work with him. I know it's only been 2 games, but he's already looked better in these couple games than we really ever saw in Denver. And it's not like the Steelers have better weapons. They really don't. He's got George Pickens. Like, that's the only guy he's really thrown to. Pat Freiermuth, fine. But Russ had Cortland Sutton. He had Jerry Jeudy, who I know whatever you think about Jerry Jeudy. But, like, my point is the cupboard was bare in both places. But you're seeing Russ make some plays. Now, he's not 2013 Russ. He's not a 2014 winning Super Bowls Russ, okay? But he's definitely better than he was in Denver. And here's the thing. The Steelers defense. We know Pittsburgh is always going to be about their defense. I think TJ Watt is the best defensive player in the game. And I think if Russ can maintain this level, again, it's small sample size, 2 weeks. Okay, he's only played 2 weeks. But if he can keep this going, just stay where he's at, not turn the ball over, make enough throws down the field, like, I think the Steelers have a real chance to win the AFC North. They still have to play the Ravens twice. Okay, and the Ravens, my deal with the Ravens, which we'll talk about here, I'm going to get to my power rankings. The Ravens are hot and cold. They have 2 of the worst losses you've seen, and it gives me like a little pause to know what are they going to do over the course of the season, the rest of the way. What is going to happen with them? Right now, the Steelers sit in first. They do not play a first place schedule, but they still have some tough games left. They got to play the Ravens twice. They still play the Bills. And the Chiefs, okay? So the Ravens already played the Chiefs, and they dominated the Bills. So we'll see what happens, okay? We'll see what happens. I think if I had to put money on it, I would still take the Ravens. Lamar Jackson's having an MVP year again, okay? At least he's in the mix, I mean. They just traded for Deontay Johnson that I think is going to help them. Derrick Henry's doing Derrick Henry things. So I would probably put my money on the Ravens, but I think that the Steelers are going to make it interesting. And if you told me at the end of the year the Steelers win the North, I would believe you. That's very believable and not shocking. And the great thing is that it's close. They still have to play each other twice. And I'm all about Ravens, Steelers, AFC North football later in the year when it's cold. Love it. I'm here for it. Steelers fans, you should be excited. Steelers fans, you can make me eat my words, make all those people out there eat their words who were doubting, okay? Because I was one of them. I was like, I don't think the Steelers are a playoff team. I don't think they're going to do much this year. And I was proven wrong again. Mike Tomlin proven me wrong, okay? He just knows how to coach. That defense is doing their thing, firing on all cylinders. They probably need to shore up the run defense a little bit if we're being honest. Tracy Jr. kind of went off on you guys a little bit, but you got the win, so it doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter in that sense. But before we play the Ravens, they need to shore up that run defense just a little bit. Week 9 power rankings. Okay, I've never done this before. I just wanted to start. I'm trying to switch up some of my topics and my structure of the show. I was just kind of trying to do 49er stuff, but I wasn't. I don't know. I want to talk everything. I love the NFL. I'm a huge NFL nerd, so I'm going to try to keep it bigger picture NFL topics as a whole, and power rankings is a great way to do it. I'm going to do my top 5. I'm just going to keep it simple. I thought about doing top 5, bottom 5, top 3, bottom 3, but I'm just going to keep it simple, I think. Top 5 teams each week. I'm going to try to update it, okay? Coming in at number 5, okay? And this is the team that I said for the first 4 weeks was the best team in the NFL, if you've watched other videos of mine. But they've struggled these last 2 weeks, and it's the Minnesota Vikings. Now, Minnesota lost to the Lions. The Lions might be the best team in the NFL, okay? I promise you they're on this power rankings list. Shocker, spoiler alert. Tough division game that they lost, okay? And then they had to turn around, short week on the road in Los Angeles, Thursday night in Los Angeles against the Rams, who had Puka and Cooper Kupp back. The Rams are, as a 49er fan, they're the team that scares me the most in terms of who could win the division over the 49ers. It's not Seattle, it's not Arizona, it's the Rams. If the Rams are healthy, they're as scary as any team because of Matthew Stafford, because of Sean McVay. Okay, so the fact that the Vikings had to go short week on the road Thursday night, playing against the Rams, tough loss, lose Darisaw, but you've traded for Cam Robinson. Losing Darisaw, you can't just replace him. Okay, he's very good, probably top 5 tackle in the NFL. And it hurts. It's going to ruin some of the continuity. But you trade for Cam Robinson so that you have somebody you can plug and play right then. I think that they're going to be able to patch it together. And the truth is that the Vikings defense is still elite. Still elite. They've had 10 days off. They're about to play the Colts on Sunday Night Football. I expect them to rout the Colts. At least, I say rout. At least the defense is going to be smothering. That's what I'll say. I think you might see the best defensive performance from the Vikings this season against Joe Flacco and the Colts. They've had 10 days to prepare. They're going to be out for blood. They've lost 2 in a row. I have the Vikings at 5. Number 4, my favorite. I have 2 AFC teams I really like. I'm a 49er fan. Like, I don't do this like, oh, this is my second favorite team. I root for them too. But there's 2 teams that I do like consistently like to watch and like kind of root for, and it's the Chargers and the Bills. And it's because I love Josh Allen. I don't think he's the best quarterback in the NFL, but I think he's fun to watch. I think his personality fits Buffalo perfectly to a T. He gives off blue collar vibes. He does funny videos. He's an easy watch. Plays a lot of hero ball, which has hurt him in the past. Turns the ball over. But as a fan, I don't care if they win that much because it's not my team, but he's just an entertaining guy to watch. So I root for the Bills. The Bills early on looked like they could be the best team in the NFL, and then they lost a couple in a row. Okay, that really makes you think like, what the heck? And they got pounded by the Ravens, 31-10. I think that was a Monday night game. Maybe it was a Sunday night game. It was prime time. A couple bad losses that I just mentioned, but the last 2 weeks have been blowouts. Okay, and last week going into Seattle, 31-10, just dominated. The week before that, I think it was 31-10 the week before against Tennessee. Tennessee's not that good, but playing Seattle on the road, and Seattle, you know, they've been up and down this season. They'd lost 3 in a row, beat the Falcons on the road, and then come back and they just made them look terrible. So I'm still high on the Bills as far as being one of the better teams in the NFL. They've got to beat a good team, a really good team, to get me like all the way in, but they should at the very least be the 3 seed, 2 or 3 seed in the AFC playoffs. And Josh Allen's having an MVP type year. I think he's probably going to win it. And Ravens fans, that's going to make you mad because I also talk about Lamar Jackson having an MVP type of year. But the voters are human. The voters love a good story. It's partly why, like, I think Brock Purdy was playing at an MVP level last year. He clearly sucked against the Ravens. But I think voters were looking for reasons to give it to him before that game because it's such a good story. Josh Allen's been in the league. People have touted him as the second best quarterback in the NFL now for a while. And it looks like they want to give it to him. I don't know anybody who gets a vote. I'm just saying it's easy to see what they're thinking. Josh Allen right now, 14 touchdowns, 1 interception. If the Bills can get to like the 2 seed, I think he's going to be the MVP. Because right now it feels like the Chiefs are going to be the 1 seed, but Mahomes is, I don't know what, I haven't looked. His stats now are, what is he, 9 touchdowns, 9 interceptions? Like, you can't be giving him, even though we all know he's the best quarterback in the NFL, I don't think you can give him the MVP with those kind of numbers. So I think it's Josh Allen, if he can get his team to the 2 seed, that's what it's going to be. And good for him. I love Josh Allen. I hope that works out for him. My number 3 team in my power rankings, the Ravens. Okay. I mentioned Lamar Jackson. Okay, he's having another MVP type of year. Okay, I've been critical of Lamar, and I stand by a lot of my criticism because until he wins in the playoffs, like I just am not going to tout him as the best or even the second best quarterback in the NFL. It has nothing to do with like him being able to run is an incredible trait, and it adds to his game. Okay, and he's doing it again. He's playing at a very high level. The Ravens at times look unbeatable, and then at times they lose stupid games to the Raiders and to the Browns last week. But Lamar's crushing it. He's got 17 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, okay, on the year coming into this week. So he's playing at an incredibly high level. I talked about this a little bit. I don't know why do the Ravens lay some eggs like that? Why do they have these couple of games? Like, you have no business losing to the Raiders at home. Even the Browns, I know Jameis was doing Jameis things. Some things didn't go your way at the end of that game. You had a couple chances to ice the game with some interceptions that were dropped. But I don't know. I still have question marks about the Ravens. And listen, Ravens fans, you guys came at me in the offseason when I was critical of Lamar, and that's fine. That's YouTube. I'm going to put myself out there. You're welcome to respond and tell me what you think. The truth is, Ravens fans, until he wins playoff games, that will hang over his head. I don't care how many MVPs he wins. If he does not win a big playoff game, like, it is always going to stick with him. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. I'm not saying he's doesn't deserve to be in like the top 5, because I think I'm around to he is a top 5 quarterback for sure. And if he can win some playoff games, some important playoff games, instead of disappointing Ravens fans, then I will be more of a believer in Lamar. But it's going to hang over him until he does that. Now, I think he can do it, and I think this year is as good of a chance as any to do it. But just this is the reality. Objectively, it is going to hang over his head until he wins playoff games. That's not controversial. That's not knocking him, because I'm telling you that he can do it. We just haven't seen it yet. Okay? And people are always going to have that stigma about him, right or wrong. That's what's going to happen. Is people are going to be like, well, great, cool. MVPs win a playoff game. Win an important playoff game. Okay? That's all I'm saying. And I think he will. He has a good chance this year. They're for sure going to be playing a playoff game at home. Okay, I know he beat the Texans last year, but like a Texans team that was really young, first-year head coach, rookie quarterback, like you should have beat him. That game was close in the first half. You pulled away at the end, fine. But at some point, if you want the respect that Ravens fans want Lamar Jackson to have, you have got to beat a Josh Allen in the playoffs. You have got to beat Mahomes in the playoffs. Even Joe Burrow, which you guys have owned Joe Burrow, but in the playoffs, did you guys beat him in the playoffs? No, you guys lost. I mean, Lamar didn't play that game, whatever. That doesn't matter. My point is you've got the Lamar's playoff wins, okay? He's beaten Ryan Tannehill when he played for the Titans. You also lost to Ryan Tannehill in the playoffs when you guys were the 1 seed. That happened. That's an objective fact. You might not like to hear it, but it's an objective fact. That's not even my opinion. That happened. And then you've beaten C.J. Stroud and the Texans, first-year head coach, rookie quarterback. You beat him at home, great. But he has got to get over the hump, which I think he will. He will at some point in his career. Might be this year, might be next year. He will. But until he does, it's going to hang over his head. I just went on a rant. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, Ravens at 3. Number 2, Lions. Now, the Lions, to me, are the scariest team in the NFL. I think they are the best, most complete team in the NFL, but the Chiefs, spoiler alert, of course they're my number 1. The Chiefs are undefeated. They have the best quarterback in the league. They have the best head coach in the league. Maybe the best defensive coordinator in the league. They're not playing to their potential. They still need more weapons on offense, or they just need to get it going on offense. But the fact that they're undefeated, I can't put them any lower than 1. But the Lions, to me, are the scariest, most dangerous team in the NFL. They are absolutely blowing teams out. Okay, they're dominating all phases of the game. It sucks Aiden Hutchinson getting hurt and being out. Like, that is such a crushing blow. But offensively, they're as dangerous as any team. Ben Johnson is as good of a play caller as anybody, very creative. Dan Campbell has them boys playing tough, blue-collar football. Special teams, they're playing well. Like, they are just doing everything. And if they are the 1 seed, which I think at this point I expect them to be, okay, playing all their games inside Ford Field, like, watch out. The Lions are the team to beat in the NFC and possibly the NFL, okay? I don't know if I have much else to say about them. They're that good. They're the favorites in the NFC. I don't know if anyone's stopping them. Doesn't feel like it. And number 1, the Chiefs. They've played bad, and they're undefeated, okay? It's not a fluke. How do we know that? Because it's Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Okay, they weren't great last year. They struggled last year, but and they lost some games. Well, this year they're kind of playing the same way that they did last year, but they're winning those close games instead of losing them. You know, if you remember, they finished 11-6 and were the 3 seed last year, and it didn't matter. In the playoffs, they just get it done. There's no team. I just said that the Lions are the scariest team. I just mean from a complete. They're complete. They're playing so well. They're firing on all cylinders. That's what makes them scary. But the Chiefs are obviously the scariest team in the NFL because of Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid just finding ways to win. It's hard to bet against them. I'll tell you that much. I did it 2 weeks ago with the Niners. Chiefs fans let me hear about it. Thanks, guys. Great. So happy for you. You get to dunk on me, a 49ers fan. Great. Happy for you guys. Someone's got to take them down eventually. I don't know who it'll be. I don't think they're going to go undefeated, but I say that, and every week they keep finding ways to win, but I would still put my money. They're going to lose a game or two. They'll still be the 1 seed. 14-3 feels reasonable. I don't think they're going to play week 18, so that's probably, they're not going to play their starters week 18, so that's probably a loss, and then we're going to drop 1 or 2 here. Luckily, we get the Chiefs-Ravens. Chiefs-Ravens still play each other, so that's going to be fun to watch. Steelers-Chiefs, I think, is Christmas Day. Fantastic game. Maybe it's the week before, but either way. There's a couple tough games for the Chiefs that'll test them, but regardless, we're all just kind of playing, and they're going to be the 1 seed, and they're going to win the Super Bowl probably. That's my take. Let me know, guys. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel. Okay, you reached the end of this video. I appreciate you watching. Let me know what you think. In the comments, tell me. Give me your top 5 teams in the NFL in the order. It's a power ranking. It means it's going to change week to week. It means it's just like eyeball test. Who do I think is the best? If these 2 teams matched up against each other, who would win? And it's going to change every week. But that's what I got for you. Week 9 is here. Okay, let's enjoy it. We're about the halfway point of that season. Let's enjoy football while it lasts, because we know how freaking terrible it is when it's the off season and there's no football around. So enjoy it. I'm out.